wants to start. There we go.
What's up, bitches?
Welcome. Episode 179. Burns and Berman post-draft. Man, what a weekend.
I had to put the blinders on because I'm sick of seeing you boys out here.
Yeah, nice. Nice. Real good, Burns.
I saw Joshua, guys, in person.
Yeah.
It was cool.
First time ever.
Yeah, I saw Josh in person. He was interesting, short. He's weird though. He was kind of odd. He fucked with Portillo's chocolate cake though.
That was good.
He thought that was good. Dude, Mike was actually pretty cool. I was yapping it up with Mike. Because, dude, listen to this story. So basically, this is what happened. Because Michael's an idiot also.
Yes, he is. And when the vlog gets put out, we post this vlog, you're going to see exactly what Burns is about to get into.
Michael's a fucking idiot. So listen to this, right? They call me. They missed their first flight from DC to Milwaukee. They missed their flight. So then Josh is like calling me.
Michael is the reason why we missed our flight, for the record.
Yes, Michael's the reason. So then Josh calls me and he's all like crashing out, like, oh my God, we missed our flight. Now we're taking a flight to O'Hare in Chicago. And then they had a layover for like what, 4.5 hours?
4.5 hours.
4.5 hour layover.
Burns over here goes, it's a 45-minute drive.
4.5 hour layover.
I did not know that.
Yeah. 4.5 hour layover. And then they were going to fly from O'Hare to Milwaukee, which you're maybe in the air for like 20 minutes, literally. So I'm like, why don't I just come and pick you up? And then I picked him up and we went to Portillo's and we had a great time. And we went to the Cheese Castle too. And Josh was like, wow, this is so cool. Yeah, you could have taken the train. You could have taken the train too.
Could have.
But no, I decided to be a nice guy. And I was heading up to Wisconsin on Wednesday. This was on Tuesday. Yeah, I was already going up there on Wednesday. So I'm like, you know what? I'll just go a day early and I'll pick up the boys from the airport.
Might as well. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But we're going to get into, I'm sure we'll get into the Ravens and Bears draft. But I'll talk, and you're going to hate what I'm going to have to say here, but I got to talk about how absolutely blown away I was by Green Bay. I know you're going to hate this, but the way that Green Bay, as a small town where there were more people there, double the amount of people showed up for the first 2 nights of the draft, and there are people that live in that city. And it was incredible. Lambeau Field. I'm going to get into Lambeau in a second, but the NFL did a great job of the logistics of it and everything being much closer together, which for that reason, I actually liked the setup of it more than Detroit, because Detroit was more than a walk. I have no idea.
Probably.
I probably do.
Do you think you do legitimately?
Well, I don't know. 'Cause I don't know what's on an actual test.
I think he's more book smart than you. I think he's like better in school than you are.
Yeah, but he struggles in school now too. But you
got for me. It's also because he's a fucking world traveler. That's why.
Right, but so it's just, it depends what's on that test.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I've never taken one.
Yeah.
But because everything was, oh my God. Yo, Wisconsin. Friday night, 30-something degrees, cold, rainy, hated it. Saturday, I wake up. It feels like 42. It's a little sunny. I leave the draft incredibly sunburned.
Dude, that's not just Wisconsin. That's the Midwest as a whole. That's just how it goes. There have been days where literally like the day before, it was like 25 degrees and snowing outside. And the next day, it's like 70 degrees outside. That's just how it is.
Oh, my God. Literally, I got there and it was in the 40s. I was kind of cold.
Like, yeah,
By the time I left, my face is a tomato.
Like, yeah, no, like low key, I am mad at you because right now it's literally like 80 degrees and sunny outside. But
Beautiful.
I sit inside. I'll sit inside.
We wanted to just it just wasn't possible.
It didn't work out. It didn't work out Wednesday. We're gonna try and do it Wednesday, but that just didn't work.
StreamYard's being weird. We have 14 viewers on Twitch alone, and yet StreamYard says we have 9 total.
Dude, it does that to me every single time we go live. It doesn't update.
Yeah, the StreamYard numbers are just completely off.
Yeah.
But I just went on Twitch. It was like, how many viewers do we have? And it says on StreamYard, on Twitch alone, we have 12 now. But on StreamYard, it says that we have 1 Twitch viewer and 9 on YouTube.
But there we go.
And right there. There you go. Now it jumped.
Yeah. But what's it called? My experience of the draft Thursday was really interesting. That was the only day that I was there. And then I drove home the next morning. But I mean, I had a good time regardless. I did. It's just it kind of sucked because we walked through the gates 2 hours before Goodell got out on stage, right?
Yep.
At capacity, couldn't get into the main theater. It was done. People were out there. I ran into my dentist, which was really cool.
Well, wait. The actual draft theater?
Swear to God, they didn't let us in like 2 hours.
Wait. No. You're saying like the theater.
Where everybody was standing, where you were.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not saying like those little booths right in front of the stage. No.
Well, that's why I was confused. I was about to say it's invite only for those.
Yeah, I know. But no, but the draft theater audience, like we couldn't get in there. And outside that, the one thing they had was a Jumbotron with no speakers and they had closed captioning on it. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So I was like, what the fuck are we supposed to do? And then we walked over and saw the inside of the stadium was open. So we just sat inside the stadium and watched it on the Jumbotron.
Yeah.
Which was interesting. I mean, sitting there on a cold bleacher, just watching a screen, it was interesting.
Outside of the fact that we got credentialed for that draft, in terms of setup and fan experience, without a doubt, the one that we went to in Kansas City by far is still the top for me.
Really?
Not even close. First of all, they are the only draft of the 3 that mastered what's, in my head, sounds like the incredibly simple art of having speakers everywhere so you can hear what's happening no matter where you are.
Yeah.
Detroit was worse than Green Bay in
Really?
that aspect, but not by much. Both Detroit and Green Bay, for some reason, thought that in the NFL experience, where so many fans are going to be during the draft, and in particular before the draft, not to have speakers everywhere. Kansas City did. The other 2, I don't understand. That to me, it's so simple. And the NFL does such an amazing job at literally everything else. But for some reason, they forget to set up a couple, literally, probably, 3 extra places with speakers? Problem will be solved.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that they, for some reason, can't figure out.
I wish that they were also more just like, that they said like, hey, Lambeau's open. You could go inside. Because they didn't really like say that.
Yeah, but it was. And we spent a lot of time inside it, in particular on day 2 where it was raining during the day. So all the content I got on day 2 was inside Lambeau.
Yeah.
And I've now been inside 6 stadiums, which is cool.
Nice. But yeah, once we sat down in there, it was all fine and dandy.
Yeah.
I mean, the atmosphere there was cool. It was just a ton of people. It was.
How many people were inside Lambeau? Because during night 2, there were not very many because we wanted to go.
So I have 2 pictures. Okay. The first one, hold on one second. Let me scroll back. The first one is like right before the draft started. Hold on. Where is this a good angle? Yeah. So this is like right before.
Oh, wow. It's pretty good.
But then this is by like pick 15.
That's still way more than what I saw on night 2.
No, I know, but it was just dead in there. Like later in the night, even when the Packers picked, like it was pretty empty.
Wow.
And I mean, we left with most people right after the Packers picked. And
Pittsburgh has it next year.
Yeah, Pittsburgh does. Where are they going to host that in Pittsburgh? I went to Pittsburgh when I was really little, so I don't really remember.
I don't know. I'm sure they have plenty of places. They probably have more places that they could possibly host it than Green Bay did. Green Bay only had 1 option.
Yeah.
But
and Hines right next to each other.
Yeah.
Maybe like right in the middle of those two. I'm actually gonna look at this right now. Hold on.
But as you do that, I'll say this. I've now been inside 6 stadiums, and I went inside MetLife, and it was okay, cool. It's a stadium. Went inside the Eagles Stadium. Okay, cool. It was a stadium. Went inside Superdome, Bucks Stadium, same thing. When I went inside of Lambeau Field, it was like, wow, like I'm inside Lambeau. It was different. There's an aura at Lambeau Field that is just like the history, the tradition was just like, I can't believe it.
From my first time walking in there, it gave off the same vibes of walking up the stairwells at Wrigley for a baseball game. It's the same thing. It's pretty cool. It is. There is like a vibe there that you just feel it around everywhere.
And I will tell you this, my favorite part of the entire trip was something that for some reason you're not allowed to film inside of. We went to the Packers Hall of Fame.
Oh, you did that? Okay. I was wondering.
It was an NFL history nerd's fantasy. Oh my God, it was incredible. The stuff they have in there, from a piece of the goalpost from the Ice Bowl to these really cool videos to literally Vince Lombardi's desk that I got to sit at, to so many cool things. The stuff on the wall, the Lombardi trophies, the one of only, I believe, I'm pretty sure that the Packers and the Jets are the only two franchises that can say they have a Lombardi trophy with an AFL logo on it.
Yeah.
That say Pro Football World Championship trophy on it and not Vince Lombardi trophy on it. The only ones. Cool. And it was like, wow. Yeah, really, really cool.
Yeah. No,
now we got to actually get into the actual draft because there's so many things that happened.
Yeah, we really do.
You want to get into Ravens and Bears first, or we can get into the rest of the league first?
Let's start with us two first.
I've done a lot more talking than you, so I'll let you start with the Bears draft.
Night one, I was caught so off guard. I was just shocked. And you know who's the one person that I heard from any Bears fan out there who predicted it? It was my dad. The night before the draft, our aunt who lives down in Texas, she texted us, hey, talking with some football fans down here, who do you guys think the Bears are drafting tomorrow night? And I said either Mason Graham or Ashton Genty. And my dad just goes, it's either going to be the Penn State tight end or the Michigan tight end. I'm like, maybe Tyler Warren, but Colston Loveland? Really? And then it happened. And when I sat there, I thought that it was Tyler Warren no matter what. You saw my video. I just was shocked. But it's fine. It's fine. And the biggest way that I put it, after I really sat there and thought about it for a second, is number one, our head coach is one of the best offensive minds in the NFL. If that's his guy, I'm trusting his guy. Thanks for just removing me from the screen.
I didn't realize the picture was that big.
I
did not realize it was that big of a picture. My bad.
Do like.
It's still going to cover.
You sure?
Not if I do it like this. Hold on.
What about this?
Not if I just do it like that.
Okay. And then, hold on.
There.
Let's go. See, guys, this is how we do it. We're professional now. What the fuck? He just left the screen. Yep.
Right as you said professionals, I accidentally exit out of StreamYard. Completely by accident.
Pull it up again, dude. Come on.
Right as we said, talk about how we're professionals, I accidentally log out of StreamYard.
There we go. But Colston Loveland, you see, the thing about Tyler Warren when he was being talked about in the draft is that Tyler Warren is a kind of do-it-all tight end. He can do everything. He's kind of like a joker piece a little bit. Like he could play everywhere, and that's what he did at Penn State. Colston Loveland is your word for word, bar for bar tight end. That's who he is. His biggest comp that people had throughout the draft combine process and everything was Sam Laporta.
Yep.
Who's the Bears head coach, Josh?
Yep. That's a good
point. Who's the guy who worked with Sam Laporta for forever?
That's a good point.
Ben Johnson. And what was Ben Johnson before he was an offensive coordinator too? a tight ends coach for multiple years. I'm trusting the process here with him.
Yeah.
If that's Benny's guy, that's Ben's guy. And I'm going to sit here and say, hey, play some good ball, because also at the same time, the Bears didn't really need to get him either. We have Cole Kmet on this team. He's right there. But the pick that I was most caught off guard by.
Before actually, real quick, I want to say this.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's really simple with a Loveland pick. I have nothing to criticize the Bears for. I don't think it's a bad pick. I think that it's fine. There's nothing negative I can say about the pick. But if it were up to me, I still think it should have been Tyler Warren.
And I can agree with you on that 100%.
But yet there's nothing negative about picking Loveland that I can say. Because I think he's a good player.
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. Tyler Warren was my guy too, but if that's what Ben wants, that's what Ben wants. And I'm trusting his process 100%.
Yeah. Now, Burns, there's a player that I feel like you loved more than any other player this entire draft process.
There was a player that I have loved so much, and I love him to death. And it is the pick that caught me the most off guard by the Chicago Bears, and it is the first pick in the second round. When I saw Randall on the phone screaming, I'm like, oh my God, they did it. They got him. When I saw Luther Burden sitting right there, and right away, me and my buddy, we go, that's our wide receivers coach on the phone. That's our wide receiver. And I start jumping up and down. And in my video, what you'll see is I'm watching the draft, we're about to pick. And what popped up on my phone, I say, holy shit, early, because the CBS Sports notification came up.
Oh, rookie mistake. I have do not disturb on.
I know. It said Luther Burden, so I just went nuts. I love him so much. He should have been. If you check my Twitter right now, I have just been glazing Luther Burden for.
But that's what you've been doing the entire pre-draft process.
Yes.
This has been your guy.
You know this. This is my guy, and that's why I'm so happy to get him. Here's the number one thing that I said right away: the whole character issues thing. Ryan Poles passed on drafting fucking Jalen Carter over character issues. If we went and got this guy and said, hey, Luther Burden's the guy, I don't think that he has too bad of character issues. But just sitting here, though, and having him on this team. Josh, did we need a wide receiver? No.
I mean, not in round 2, but I think you guys. I think you guys adding one more. I honestly, you're looking for me to say no, but
was it a need? No.
Not a top need. No.
Did we fucking want it and we went out and got it? Yes, we did. And
Tampa did something, man, where I talked about it, whereas you've seen teams do it over the last few years.
Yeah.
And it is taking a strength and turning it into a superpower.
Yep.
That is what the Bucs did.
Yep.
Evans and Godwin, that's a strength of your team.
Yep.
Evans, Godwin, and Ibuka, that's a superpower.
Yep.
Same logic
here. Trying to do here. And the thing is one other thing that I've talked about a lot this offseason with the wide receiver room was maybe bringing back Keenan Allen. This is having a guy who has the potential to be as good as Keenan was for us last year or better.
He's a totally different player.
True, but you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
And he's a hell of a lot cheaper, and he's on a rookie contract for the next 4 years.
Yep.
That's the big difference. But Luther Burden, I cannot be happier with him. And then, you look at the middle of the draft. Ozzie and Shamar, that's just depth to the trenches right there. Ozzie is also literally like 6'8", 318 pounds. He is massive. He is just a big human. And the rest
is a good pick.
Yeah, Shamar Turner's a dog. I'm happy with that. Adding more depth to the defensive line. Love it. And same with Ruben, basically,
From Maryland.
Our linebacker room is damn near set. And you told me right away that he's a dog, too.
He's very athletic.
Yeah, you told me right away, dog. And that's what we kind of need because, Jack Sanborn's gone. So he'll probably help repair that hole on this defense with him, Tremaine Edmonds, and TJ Edwards. Mm-hmm. Zal Frazier, that's just a depth mood,
Great name, too.
Really is what it is. Yeah, I know. Love the name.
All name team member is always a good thing to have.
Yeah. And Luke Newman. Luke Newman, Josh, is exactly what you want to see in an offensive lineman. You know why?
Why?
He's got a little bit of a country accent to him.
Does he?
He's from the countryside. I believe he's from the countryside. That's exactly what you want. You just want a big country offensive lineman, and that's when you know that they will be there for a long time and they will protect your quarterback for forever. And then, lastly, but definitely not least, the Bears' last pick in the draft, Kyle Monangai, is a man. Ryan Poles was just kind of like, take it. Take it. Here. I'm finally doing it for you. Because we were all saying the entire draft, we need a running back. We need a running back. Give us a running back. Give us a running back.
There you go.
7th round. Kyle Monangai. I mean, the guy's fun. I watched him at Rutgers last year. He's explosive as hell. He just, when he hits that top, when he gets going, he gets going. Fun to watch. We'll see really how much playing time he actually gets. But yeah, post-draft thoughts for the Bears. It's just so cool. It's so nice. We were all cut off guard heavily day one. And obviously you could tell from me that my draft was saved when I saw Luther Burden becoming a Chicago Bear.
Again, that's your boy.
That's my boy. That's my guy. Just like how you got your guy in round one.
Yes.
I got mine. He just came a day later. And I'm happy. I'm excited. This team is going to be fucking fun, man. They're going to be so fun. This offense is going to be flying everywhere. I'm excited. To Josh.
They have
let me put the blinders on. There we go.
They have all the pieces. Let's see him put it together. That's kind of my thoughts.
Yep.
All right.
Exactly, brother.
The Ravens and their 5 6th-round picks that we had 2 5ths and 4 6ths, and we traded back.
Fuck.
So 5 6th-round picks for the Ravens.
Bro, that just looks crazy.
I know. All right. Let's start with.
Also, I'm going to cut you off real quick because I do have a question.
Yes.
When you were live on TikTok, who was like cutting your clips to post them during the draft?
Francis did. He did the best he could.
This Francis, our Francis in chat?
Yes.
Attaboy, Francis.
Appreciate you, Francis. Did the best that he could. I mean, the lag was screwed him over terribly. It's not his fault. It's not his fault that pretty much all the videos from that night flopped because they were lagging and the quality's bad. And he did the best he could. I appreciate you, Francis. I really do.
No. It wasn't him. It was TikTok as a whole. Everybody was just, it was brutal.
Yeah, as you said, the guy I wanted in round one. This is now. It's interesting. I've now been a fan for about 10 years, like a real football fan. And in the first 5 years or so, we never got the number one guy that I wanted.
Yeah.
This is now the 4th time in the last 5 years that we've gotten the guy that I wanted.
Yeah.
The only time where we didn't was last year with Wiggins, and man, I couldn't be because and the guy that I wanted was Kool-Aid McKinstry, who had a better rookie year.
Yeah.
Nate Wiggins.
Yeah.
But man, 2020, I wanted actually no, because in 2020 I really wanted Kenneth Murray, and then my second guy was Patrick Queen, who then we wound up getting, who obviously turned out great. So, but third time in the last 4 years, then getting Bateman, getting Hamilton and Linderbaum, my 2 guys. Then last year getting Zay. Getting Zay in 23. And then this year getting Malachi Starks. I will get into that in a second because it is important and worth talking about.
Yep.
But Malachi Starks, man, that's going to add another element to the defense because it lets the best safety in football do whatever the fuck he wants. You're going to give 10 guys assignments and say, Kyle, go play football. Go do whatever you want. It's a luxury, man. Honestly, I'm going to skip over Green. I'm going to come back to him.
Okay.
Emory Jones. It sounds like he can play guard. If that's the case, perfect. Love it. And we need O-line depth anyway. And then we also need a guy who can kind of replace McCary, who, for those who don't know, Patrick McCary, who now went to the Jaguars this offseason. He was a starting left guard last year, but in the 6 years that he spent in Baltimore, he started multiple games at left tackle, left guard, center, right guard, and right tackle. He has started multiple games at all 5 positions. So you needed a guy who you can move around. If that is Emory Jones and you also have a potentially good guard in him or tackle, great. Teddy Buchanan, the Ravens need inside linebacker help. I love it. Carson Vincent, same thing. Give me O-line depth. Same with Dellinger at the end. Bilal Kone, which apparently he goes by BK Kone. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm seeing I haven't seen very many positives about him.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, good thing that you have like 7 other 6-round picks.
So. Yeah. Tyler Loop from Arizona threw us for a loop by not taking Fitzgerald, who good Michael pun. Really wanted.
Good pun.
But I mean, the dude made a 62-yarder. That's a check.
Yeah.
Listen, the man that is the unsung hero of the Ravens special teams unit for the longest time is Randy Brown. He is the kicking guru. The Ravens have a long history of bringing kickers in the preseason and then cutting them at the end, and then they go somewhere else. A guy like Will Lutz comes to mind. Spent the offseason with the Ravens, and then the Saints pick him up. He turns into a good kicker for them. There's a couple of other examples that I'm blanking on at the moment, but so I trust Randy Brown, who apparently has spent the last multiple months just going all over the country, and this was his guy. So great. LeJonte Wester from Colorado. I like that. I like that a lot.
Colorado boys.
I like that a lot. Anais Peebles is a crazy athletic defensive lineman. Fine. Robert Longerbeam. We need bodies in the cornerback room. We just need players. If he can be that, great. I already talked about Dellinger. Same thing about I said about Vincent. Now, let's talk about Mike Green. I'm not going to shy away from these conversations. I think they're very important and they're worth having. And here's what I will say. The Baltimore Ravens spent a full day with Mike Green. They conducted a very thorough investigation into Mike Green. The charges that were filed against him were suspended. It really is very simple. If my organization spent a significant amount of time, which is being not only said by the Ravens, it's being widely reported that no, the Ravens really did their homework here and they felt comfortable taking him, then all right.
Then run it.
Fine. If you're telling me that you really did your homework and you felt confident enough to take the guy, then there's no reason for me to say anything about it.
Yeah.
For me, I feel that way. Now, if literally one thing comes up, cut him immediately. Get him out of here. But it really is that simple, where if we did our homework and we felt good enough taking him, then I see no reason to be upset. We got a top 15 talent in round 2. Welcome to Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm going to get one before the season begins because right now it's not even on like Fanatics or anything. I was looking for it. So yeah, I'm waiting until his numbers, his numbers settle in, and I will be purchasing a Luther Burden jersey. Yeah, I will be. But yeah, draft went good for you, Josh, and the whole thing with Mike Green. Yeah, you're not wrong at all. I mean, it's just basically nothing you can do about it. They looked into it enough, and that really is what it is, you know?
And listen, that we have seen time and time again these athletes be guilty of this stuff. We've also seen time and time again athletes being falsely accused.
True.
So,
because, dude, every time we did a mock draft, too, we had him going decently.
He was a top 15 projected pick.
Yeah. No,
I did not think he would be there at 27.
No. And he was there in the second round.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Any other notes you want to talk about with just the draft in general?
I say we can get into it a lot more thoroughly over the next couple of shows and weeks, but
yeah,
I want to hit like the big headlines today, and and there's only one place to start with that. Holy shit,
Josh! What did he say? What did he say? I don't get it.
Well, yeah, I don't either.
It had to be something that bad. Or this is also true.
I don't know.
It could be true. And I wouldn't be too shocked by it, to be completely honest with you.
Here's what I will say. The NFL is so racist, they made this guy their number 1 overall pick. All right, shut the fuck up. That's the first thing. Okay, that's the number 1 thing I have to say. That's the first point I have.
You're not wrong. No, you're not wrong. This is a strictly Shedeur Sanders thing, bro.
Well,
there's
no way in hell that he should have fell to the 5th round.
Well, you see, I didn't know this either, that Deion was playing agent for them. I had no idea about that.
Yep.
That's definitely what did it.
And I saw someone, I think it was Albert Breer put this out, I think today, where teams were a little hesitant to take him. The teams around the league just didn't view him as a first-round talent.
Sure.
And they were kind of split on round 2. But the reason why he did not go in round 3 or 4, and this was really interesting, was that teams did not want to have the backup quarterback with distractions narrative, where it was, if you draft a guy like Shedeur to be your backup, then that comes with so much noise for a guy that isn't even going to be your starter.
Yeah.
And that was why he didn't go in rounds 3 or 4. Because at that point, it was not about taking a starter.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting. Reminds me a lot of the Colin Kaepernick situation, where it was, if I'm signing you to be my backup, why would I sign a guy with this much around him to be my backup quarterback?
Yeah.
And think that's fair, think that's right. Debate it all day long.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, that was a different perspective than anything I thought of.
Yeah.
But doesn't change the fact that I think he should have at the very least been a 2nd-round pick.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. He should have been bare minimum end of the 2nd round. That's where he should have been. I mean, he's still a stud, dude.
Yeah.
He can play ball. And I think that Cleveland was the best place for him to go, because it's damn near just an open quarterback room right now. It's open.
Well, in theory, he has to beat out Dylan Gabriel, who was drafted.
He does.
In theory, he is the QB4 in there.
Yeah.
So,
but looking at
it's the best place for him to go at all. He's going to a terrible organization who has 3 quarterbacks ahead of him that he has to beat out.
No, they are, but
which actually you can argue is the best place for him, because that'll humble him real quick.
Yeah, it's going to humble him, and it's also, he's got a chance. He can beat those guys out.
Yeah.
He can. Maybe he goes in.
And if he does, the Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, and Cincinnati Bengals will be happy to welcome him into the division.
Exactly, man. Exactly. And his Colorado buddy at the same time, he did his thing. Mr. Travis Hunter, who went right away off the board after the trade from the Browns.
Yeah, that was the next thing I wanted to get into. But with Shedeur, it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. And all right, welcome to the North.
It will be interesting, bro. It will be interesting.
Welcome to the North. But
I have something else I have to bring up too.
Before Hunter?
Yes.
Okay.
Something like, I don't know how to say it. Fuck. Sorry, I just completely zoned out. My buddy was just calling me 4 times too.
You want to come back?
The NFL brought it up briefly during round 1. It's called the Nike thing called rivalries.
Yeah, I was wondering what that was.
Do you know what it is? And
No.
they didn't even talk about this, or they did a really shitty job bringing it up. They're making special uniforms for rivalry games.
Really?
Yep.
Holy shit.
And they didn't talk about it at all.
Where did you see that?
I looked it up.
Oh my God.
it's gonna be cool. Hold on. Here, wait. I'll pull it
hope
up.
he hasn't gotten on the flight yet.
Who?
Michael's going to Israel.
Yes. Ready? Here we go. Hold on.
Hold on.
Yeah, it's literally City Connects.
I really hope he isn't on the flight yet.
Yeah, ready?
Oh, Michael, did you hear about this new rivalries thing?
What kind of question is that?
Because I hadn't until Burns just brought it up. But you know about this?
I do. It's not every team, is it? Or it is every team?
First cohort of rivalries team from the AFC East and NFC West this year. Oh, so every year they're adding another two. Oh, wow.
Yeah. It's gonna switch off like 2 divisions each. It's gonna be 2 divisions per year. Next year,
I was wondering if you'd heard about it because I didn't. All right, see you, Michael.
Next year is the NFC North.
Nice.
Next year, the NFC North is one of them. Let's see. But yeah, I think it's basically just like City Connects.
Wow.
Yeah. They literally like brought it up in the worst way possible. They didn't say what it was.
That's really interesting.
I was like, hey, that's definitely interesting.
Huh. Wow. Wow. That's really cool. All right. Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yeah.
The biggest thing about this, and it applies to Atlanta as well, whether or not it does happen, I don't think a team will trade away their future first-round pick unless they expect themselves to be in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Whether or not that's delusional, whether or not that's incredibly possible, up to you. But it's very rare for a team to trade away a future first if they think that pick's going to be in the top 10 next year.
Mm-hmm.
The Jaguars are not doing that if they think they're going to have the 8th pick in next year's draft.
Yeah.
So, hell of a move by a 12-year-old James Gladstone. But thank you for taking him out of the North. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
I didn't have to worry about that. That's going to be real fun.
Dude, he's going to have so much fun there. He is going to have such a good time. He already looks like he's having a good time there.
Yeah. And everything you hear about Travis Hunter is that he is all ball all day.
And fishing.
Yeah.
And fishing. He said, like, that was the biggest thing when he was looking in Jacksonville is he was looking, and he said, I found a bunch of lakes.
Nice.
But, hey, out of all of the distractions that a football player could have, I think the fishing is probably one of the best ones.
Yeah.
You can't really get majorly hurt unless if, like, you catch a shark and then it eats you. And you just chill. You just chill out there, stick and rod. That's pretty nice. I fucking love Travis Hunter, man, and I'd hope that the biggest message to Jacksonville, which they did basically say that, yeah, he will be playing both sides of the ball there. Use him correctly, and make him fun. Please.
And please wrap the man in bubble wrap.
Yes. Make him fun. Like, that's all everybody.
But make him healthy, too.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to see him do this for 3 weeks and sprain an ankle.
Yeah. That's exactly what they need to do. And it'll be perfect.
All right.
Another big headline.
Yeah.
Jay Dart, first quarterback off the board. Besides Cam Ward. Yeah, besides
I'm very
Cam Ward.
glad you brought this up.
What do you think? I want to hear you about this.
I see the vision. He is not ready to start in week 1. If someone drafted him with the expectation that he is your week 1 starter, he will fail. If you let him sit behind Russell Wilson, he's got a chance. He's got a chance.
Yeah.
Brian Dable's a great coach. Jackson Dart is similar to JJ McCarthy for me, where it was, I didn't think he was very good. But then I saw the situation he was going to, And it was like, huh. It was the same with McCarthy in Minnesota. I didn't like him. The whole draft process, I was not a fan of him. And then I saw him go to Kevin O'Connell. I was like, huh, all right. Maybe there's something here. It's the same. I have the same exact thought here. I don't like him very much as a prospect, but I think he's going to the perfect place.
Yeah.
And while we talk about the Giants, we did this earlier in the offseason with, I think it was Denver. I'm going to pull this up for a second. Am I crazy? Or like Russell Wilson? You got Malik Neighbors in there, Slayton and Wandale. You got Andrew Thomas as a great left tackle. Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scannabo as a running back duo. And then on defense. And then on defense, man.
Their front line is ridiculous.
Dexter Lawrence, Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, Bobby Okereke, do not sleep on him. Kayvon Thibodeau, Javon Holland, Deontay Banks, Paulson Adebo, Drew Phillips in the slot.
Yeah.
Guys.
It's not that bad.
Not at all. Hell yeah, I forgot about that.
That's not too bad.
Like,
that's not too shabby. And that's weird saying that about the New York Giants, Joshua.
And you know what else they have is not on that roster? Brian Dable.
Yeah. One of the best offensive minds in the league.
Yeah.
He's just sitting there, just chilling. He's also Ozempic Dable, too.
Yeah.
So we don't even know how cool he is.
Very true.
We don't even know how cool he could really be yet.
I'm not saying they're going to be 12-5, but I don't think they'll be 5-12 either.
Competitive. They'll be competitive 100%. They will be. And that pass rush is going to kill somebody.
Yeah. And now we're getting into the team that I really like. A team that, man, they had some holes they needed to address, and man, they did it. It's the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah. The Cardinals did their job.
I was kind of half in on the Cardinals last year, and I kind of got half out of it. Where it was, I saw a little bit, but I wasn't ready to buy it all the way in, and they went 8-9.
I feel like they're going to be the same way again this year, though, where it's like we pick them to win, and then they lose, and then whenever we pick against them, they win. I just feel like it's going to be the same thing.
I don't, because the offense is pretty similar to what they had last year. Here was their problem, defense. And man, look at all. So the orange yellowish are free agency ads, and the purple pinkish are draft picks. Look how many of those there are on here. There's a lot. They addressed it, man.
Including Mr. Josh Sweat on there as well.
Yeah.
He's a stud. Will Johnson, stud. I mean, Walter Nolan, dog. This is
They had it. Really what they had that was solid was Budda Baker's great. Garrett Williams is quietly a really good slot guy. Jalen Thompson. Mac Wilson's an okay linebacker. And this was your first round pick last year, so you don't really know what to get. Here's what you added. Calais Campbell, Dalvin Tomlinson in free agency, Walter Nolan in the first round. You sign Josh Sweat. You draft Will Johnson and Denzel Burke, who I wanted to become a Raven, by the way. All right. It's
they're ready to roll,
defense, but man, that's a lot better. I will not. We'll see when the schedule comes out in a couple of weeks. I might have these guys in the playoffs.
Oh,
yeah, I'm high on them.
Okay, JB.
I like these guys.
I'm with it. Well, yeah,
they might be my sleeper next year.
I hate to be that guy too, but I do have a place I have to be at 3:00, so I kind of have to go. But
we got so much more to talk about over the next couple of days and weeks.
Yes, we will have draft episode part 2 on Wednesday.
Probably part 3, 4, and 5.
Yes, I cannot do Friday because it is maybe the best weekend in sports this weekend. It's Derby weekend, and we have the Kentucky Oaks on Friday, and I will be watching horses run around the track all day Friday and Saturday. That is my plan. That is my routine. I'm very excited. But yeah, we will get right back to the draft on Wednesday. Thank you, boys, for joining, listening. We appreciate it. We'll be here at 2 p.m. Central, and I got to run. So, Josh, any last words?
See you guys.
Goodbye, everyone.